Hi everyone, welcome to the Gameqraft YouTube channel, where we bring games to life in the art form known as Papercraft. I'm Mike, the Papercraft designer and artist, and I'm joined here today with our Gameqraft partner, Joe.
Hello everyone.
We have an awesome video for you today, showing off a creature that I made from the Half-Life 1 universe, the Bullsquid. Before we get started, make sure that you're subscribed to the Gameqraft YouTube channel, turn alerts on so you don't miss another video that we put out. Thank you very much. The Bullsquid is really annoying at far. He'll just sit there and constantly spit at you.
He's got multiple attacks compared to all the other ones. I mean, he'll charge you. When he gets up to you, he'll do the bite. He can also do the tail spin. And when he's far away, he does the acid spit. He's actually, he's got quite a bit of attacks compared to the other monsters you meet at the time.
Just like the name implies, he's basically a squid and a bull because he charges you, and he's got these little tentacles on his face here. He was also known by another name, Bullchicken, which he kind of does also look like a chicken a little bit. But in the console commands, he actually is still called the Bullchicken. So the way that Papercraft works is it takes these three-dimensional models and it breaks it down into smaller sections that later can be unfolded. I assemble them into a template where I can print it, cut it out, refold it, and glue it together so it turns back into the three-dimensional shape in paper. The figure itself wasn't hard to assemble, but creating the template was a little difficult.
What you have to understand is that these three-dimensional shapes we see are just a series of two-dimensional triangles. There are hundreds, actually nowadays there are thousands, probably hundreds of thousands. We're probably almost into the millions now, because they're the simplest basis form we have in two-dimensional geometry. All it takes is three coordinates to make a triangle. What the Papercraft software does is it takes all these series of triangles and it unfolds them onto a series of flat paper.
So for those of you who are new to Papercraft, Papercraft is an art form where you take a video game character and break it up into smaller pieces, flat triangles. The Papercraft software will let me print that out on flat paper. You cut it out, glue it together, and it forms the three-dimensional shape.
When the experiment first goes awry, you have this weird experience. You're sent to this world where you have all these creatures around you, and the beauty of it is that these creatures are not aggressive to you because they're in their natural habitat. They have no reason to be aggressive to you. I mean, you just suddenly pop there, and you see these creatures kind of like just sitting there drinking out of a stream. The Bullsquid was the first character that they showed in this natural environment that then gets warped over to you.
Yeah, that is kind of funny that the Bullsquids don't even care about you when you show up. They're just sitting there, they're drinking water.
Yeah, they're pretty content.
They're kind of like, what the hell is this? So if you check out the Papercraft model, you can see there is some really very fine detail here in the toes and the spire on the back of the elbow. Print job came out pretty good as well. You can see here on the top, everything is going to be the same for the texture that was used in the video game. The glue that I use is crazy glue, super glue, so it really dries up hard as epoxy.
These are things I never noticed in game until Mike actually took the time to craft them, and I'm looking at the model, kind of holding it in my hand, and I'm like, oh, I never noticed that detail on the model until I'm sitting here actually kind of holding it in my hand, rotating it in 360. There's a lot of in-game details that we take for granted. You just never notice it.
Yeah, that is kind of funny how you don't appreciate the detail of the model. But when you actually have a figurine of it that replicates it exactly, you can see how much detail is really put into the character.
I have a question about what did you put in the Papercraft to do the counterbalance so that it actually does stand upright and on its feet?
So I actually used a couple different materials. I used regular stuffing like you would put in a stuffed animal, but I also used rice, which gives it a little bit of weight. And believe it or not, I actually put some coins in there, some pennies.
Center heavy?
Right.
Like that center base heaviness?
Exactly. So I put some coins in the bottom of him. That way that he would be weighted down in the correct place so he could stand properly.
That's interesting, because when I picked up the model, I didn't even know you did that. I thought that was just the natural the natural balance of the model itself, I was thinking like, man, the designers did a really good job with this model. It actually works in the real world. I didn't realize you had done all the counterbalancing and everything.
There is one scene in Half-Life where you have to confront 2 Bullsquids at the same time. It's actually early on. As you go into the meat freezer, but one of the first things that happens is a scientist runs out of nowhere being chased by a Bullsquid. And the Bullsquids, they seem to care more about the head crabs than they do the scientists, or you even.
Head crabs and Bullsquids do not get along. Head crabs are lower on the food chain than the Bullsquids, and you actually get to see that.
Another cool feature that they programmed into the Bullsquid is they'll actually start fighting each other. So if there's more than one Bullsquid and they see each other, they'll start fighting. Whenever the Bullsquid kills one of the head crabs, it'll go up and start eating the carcass. It's kind of funny. The Bullsquid model is made out of regular paper. It is laminated and super glued together. It took a few days to finish, but you can definitely appreciate all the detail in the model with this figure.
It's not until you see these models unraveled when you can really appreciate the full detail that the designer had.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I created these models on the same scale that I created on most of my other Papercraft from Half-Life 1. Check out Gordon Freeman here, side by side with the Bullsquid.
And you see the model scale pretty evenly.
Yeah.
A pretty honest rendition of the two.
We also have the Ichthyosaur here.
I think the creators intended there to be this massive detail that just, for whatever reason, the angle that you see these monsters at and whatnot, they totally went unappreciated.
So if you watch other videos on the Gameqraft YouTube channel, you'll see that I've done some very detailed models. The Bullsquid model itself has 625 faces and 504 vertices, which is still a lot, but it's not nearly as many as some of the other 3D models that I've created from Doom 3 or Half-Life 2. But all the hard work and effort that was put into this model definitely paid off. You can tell by the final product. Well, that's going to be everything on today's video for the Bullsquid.
Thanks for checking out our video. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more videos like this and to see our future Papercraft artwork. Be sure to follow us on other social media platforms.
That's right. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also have a Patreon page if you'd like to support us there. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and get your name listed in the credits for these videos. Thank you very much to our patrons and supporters. Remember, people, stay alert. Bring games to life.